I am dying to get your thoughts on the coup that it seems that the Pittsburgh Steelers pulled off. For one, because it's super low risk, and anything that they get is positive, and especially with what they got for Justin Fields. I'm not saying Justin Fields is soon to be a Hall of Famer, but he has to be better than being traded for a 6th-round pick that could go up to a 4th-round pick if he's based upon how much playing time he gets this upcoming season. Your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I mean, the Steelers are playing with house money, if you ask me. Right now, you go out and get Russell Wilson for a box of donuts. Granted, it was 13. You got the baker's dozen. So, I mean, they got the quarterback to hold place right now, right? And then you go out and finagle away, and we all know that the Bears were up against it. I mean, you knew what they were planning on doing as far as drafting Caleb Williams first. So it wasn't no mystery there. And it was like everybody was like, well, you got to get rid of this second piece here. You can't hold on to it, can you? And Bears, as much as they wanted to play like they had cards in their hand, bro, they were playing. You ever seen somebody and you look up and they got the mirror behind them on the backside and nobody realized it? Everybody's looking at their hand the whole time. Everybody peeking up to pretend like, they just admiring the scenery behind them, watching the cars the whole time, right? We all been there. You found a cheat somewhere. And that's what happened. The league found a cheat with the Bears. Was like, bro, what y'all going to do? And everybody just kept waiting them out. And, for the Steelers, this is the steal of a century, as far as I'm concerned. Because what you get a bridge quarterback. Last year, they got to the playoffs with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitchell Trubisky. Oh, my God. And I'm not saying Russell is obviously toward the end of his career. He's not you can't cook with Russ. But, I mean, you put some of those weapons around him, and I know they got rid of one of the wide receivers, but put the weapons around him, get a running game, ask him not to do stupid stuff, because Russell's good at not doing stupid stuff. Just, he'll take the check downs. He's got a good deep ball and stuff like that. He will scramble a little bit. I'm sure they're going to get Russ and say, look, just don't muck it up. Just go out there and do your thing. Do your Russell thing. Dunk if you have to. Take some shots. But we're going to keep this kind of, mid-range here. And then on the backside, Jay, because they've already said, Fields, you're not coming in here to compete for a starting job. This is Russell's job. They want to make some promises to him. You're going to come in here. We're going to take some time to develop you. This is a 1-year deal with Russ, $1.2 million. You come in here, we're going to develop you to take over the reins of this organization and treat you right. And we're also going to expect you to do the right thing on the backside. That young man is all incentivized right now. Yeah. And for the Steelers, they don't have to, if they hit on Fields where they can resurrect his career. They didn't spend a high draft pick, so they can continue to do their defensive side of the ball thing. Yeah. Got a young dynamic quarterback in here now who can, not just win games with his arm, but can win games with his legs. We're going to be smart with him, right? Right. That could be their future right there. So they basically, they hit on, in my opinion, people will poo-poo this because what he's done in Chicago all these years, maybe he just wasn't in the right situation. The Bears, let's see what the Bears do with Caleb Williams, okay? Right. They might mess that up. But in the meantime, the Steelers might have found a diamond in the rough, man. And it's all, like I said, for peanuts. They got this young man for peanuts. I think it's going to be a good move for all.
And again, when I look at what the Arizona Cardinals did when they got Joshua Dobbs, and so when I'm saying this for a reason, they got him for a 7th-round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, and knowing that he was going to be a backup and just start for a couple of games, right? A 7th-round draft pick, and we know the definite ceiling when it comes to Joshua Dobbs. He's a backup at best. But here's the thing: I came across something, and I sent it your way. But with the Steelers, if they're smart, they'll still go ahead and draft a quarterback. There are a couple of different on the site on the Steelers website. They're the fan site, so to speak, that a couple of the options that they may take. But here's the thing: worst case scenario is if Russ, let's say he doesn't play up to par, but Fields ends up progressing more than they thought, then they just bench Russ and they put Fields in to really see what's going on. So again, the thing that if I'm the Bears GM, I want Fields to do well, but I don't want him to do that well. Because if it comes back and he ends up being a starter for the Steelers, let's say next season and beyond, and ends up becoming a let's say mid to upper tier quarterback, that stays with you for the rest of your GM career. How you gave up a player for nothing, not even trying to get a couple of seconds in the thirds or whatever it was, what you gave him up for.
Yeah, and for me, there's little upside for the Bears because, as you say that, Jay, check this out. If he goes over there and does well, you're a fool for letting him go. If he goes over there and is garbage, well, what you draft him for in the first place?
Ooh,
I mean, it's like,
wait,
it just shows. I'm serious. It just shows how bad you are in your diagnosing the quarterback position, which they haven't had I guess you call franchise quarterback since. I guess you call Jim McMahon a franchise quarterback. That was back when I was still wet behind the ears in high school, that type of thing. So, for them, I guess you'd want him to go over there and play at least a little better than he has, because we saw a little something in there. He just didn't get to where we thought. Whereas, like I said, if he goes over there and stinks, you look bad. If he goes over there and blows up, it's like, wow, you guys let that go. So, the Bears have, the best thing the Bears can do, Jay, don't look back. Concentrate on trying to develop, the quarterback that you're going to call your future. You can't look and want to see what your ex is doing. That's the worst thing. All of a sudden, you start trying to, enhance what
creeping
you got here.
Creeping on social media pages and everything.
Yes. Don't look back. She's gone. Let her go. Whoever she's with now, you see her on TV at the Oscars or something like that. Nah, don't worry about that. Let that go. You got a good woman right here. Stay keep an eye on your luggage.
Oh man, yeah. And so, real quick before we get off of this, so again, with looking at what is it, SI.com, so the Steelers to SI.com, Joe Milton, maybe Spencer Rattler, and possibly Jordan Travis are maybe players that they might go after in the draft to just kind of round it out and be able to have that. So if nothing else, Russell Wilson, as corny as my man is, but he should come in incentivized because it's a 1-year deal. So you trying to revive your career to show that what you can do, not only on the field, because he had a decent last year. I mean, I think the number said, but that he can his image in the locker room, if he can repair that. And then maybe mentor Justin Fields a little bit along the way, and that gives him some brownie points as well. Justin Fields there was one site that called it brilliant stuff, and I've been hearing positive things along the way for what the Steelers did, just because it's low risk, extremely high reward, because they couldn't stay with Kenny Pickett, and we saw some of the things that he was saying that he said since that week 17 or at the end of the season, when they were trying to have him just dress up and be a third, an emergency quarterback, and didn't want to do it, and all the things that he's done. So now he's Philadelphia's problem right now, but he's going to be interesting to see.
That was an interesting. I mean, if you're going to say it with your chest, don't you normally have to have something behind your back to say it with your chest? Yeah. I mean, he made it seem like he was Ben Roethlisberger not getting his fair due there after everything he's done for the organization. In this situation, this would have been one of those shut up, learn for a year, and try to compete for the job next year.
Because he could have been there. He could have been the one learning behind Russell Wilson, but it's I'm you know who I am.
They're gonna disrespect me like that? Really? Okay. See ya.
Oh my goodness!
Now you're gonna be a true back. I mean, back up. I mean, you're not gonna get any action except for preseason games over there in Philly. So I mean, hey, nice that you didn't have to move far, but maybe you can keep your house in Pittsburgh. But that's about all you're gonna be keeping.